Hello, everybody. Today, we're going to spend 30 minutes to walk you through the functionality of the Fusang Exchange. Um, may I also have a brief introduction about our exchange? Is that we are fully compliant digital securities exchange. We hold basically two licenses. Number one is a securities exchange license. Number two is a money broking license, both issued in Malaysia. The exchange has been live since August last year, and we also started to accept investors publicly since March this year. I would like to start by sharing the 5 most frequently asked questions about Fusang Exchange settings. And this demonstration will specifically focus on answering these questions while also showcasing the functionalities at the same time. In the end, you'll also be having an opportunity for you to ask additional questions about how to use the Fusang Exchange platform. Allow me to share my screen to show you the exchange. If you open your web browser, simply type in exchange@fusang.co, you'll be able to land in on this sign-in page. All you need to do to sign in the Fusang Exchange platform is to simply click on single sign-in. And then I've got my phone here. So all you need to do is to open your Google Authenticator, whether on Android or on your iPhone, and find the corresponded QR code to have that ready. Number one is to type in my login account. All right. Once I've logged in, I've also got my QR Google Authenticator 2FA code. Just simply key in the 2FA code. Here we go. As you can see, it's a very simple, smooth process. So after we log in the Fusang Exchange, we just need to wait it for the interface to arise. Here we go. Perfect. So as you can see that this is my exchange interface. One of the most frequently asked question is, first to start, how do I deposit money into the exchange, right? Well, it also depends whether you are depositing fiat, US dollars, or as a cryptocurrency. So let's say if you want to deposit cryptocurrency, all you need to do is simply transfer your, let's say if you have a third-party crypto wallet, all you need to do is simply transfer the cryptocurrency from your personal wallet to Fusang Vault wallet. If you don't know the specifications, we also have another way, is a support page. So all you need to do is simply type in how to deposit. You'll be able to land in on this page. So within Fusang Vault, we have a button on the right side of each wallet. Simply click on the 3 dots and fund trading deposit. You'll be able to deposit cryptocurrency to the Fusang Exchange. On the other hand, we have, if you want to deposit fiat US dollars, if you want to know the specifications, we welcome you to come to the support page, search how to deposit. We've laid out all the details for you. Step number 1, simply complete the following information and send to clients@fusang.co. And number 2 is to send your US dollars from your local personal bank account to Signature Bank for following these details. We have laid out all the specification for you, so it makes you extra simple and straightforward for you to simply follow the instruction and fill the relative fields. Now we've answered how to deposit money. We'll come back to the Fusang Exchange platform. Now it comes down to how to use the exchange. Allow me a second to log in. As you can see, the login process is a pretty simple and straightforward process. We come to the main page of Fusang Exchange. The next question in terms of how most frequently asked question in terms of how to use the Fusang Exchange is how can I set my setting preference? Here we go. So this is the Exchange interface. If to start with setting preferences, all we need to do is simply go to the top right corner. We have our email address. By simply clicking here, you find two tabs. Number one is preferences. Number two is transaction reports. This is a very straightforward interface to allow you to change all the basic settings at your preferences here. For example, one of the many people have asked what is the difference between advanced view and versus advanced view being off. Then let me show you. So once I've turned it off and we come back to the trade room, voila, you see this is a much more simpler view without all the complexity of charting and different indicators. It simply give a much more simpler interface to allow you to achieve buy and sells as a result. Personally, I know that my mother would much prefer these settings, and if she only wanted to sell and buy, this allowed them to see all data that she needs at one glance and achieve buy and sells in a very simple way. If we go back to turn on advanced view, which is what I prefer, then you go back to the trading room and you can see it is back to a more sophisticated interface. Now we're back to the settings. You can also choose one-click trading, which allows you to open an order in just one click. Alternatively, you can also choose to turn off the night mode, as we can see what would happen in a second. So you can see now the exchange background is bright white. Personally, I prefer it as dark. So it depends on your personal preference. Now I would like to have your attention on the top right corner total value. If we turn this off, you can see this value is gone. So it's completely up to you whether you want to show the total value of the account. Awesome. So now we've come to the transaction report. Transaction report tabs allow you to download all the past transactions activities. The reason it shows no data here is because on the top left corner, it only shows last 24 hours. However, if I put it all time, you can see that there are activity will be shown. Also, you can see on the top right corner, top right corner so that we'll be able to download all the transactions. Now we come back to the trade room. Next, most frequently asked question is, how can I organize my interface? Which is a brilliant question. Because on the exchange platform itself, wait a second, for security reasons that we do not actually display it every time you log in. So we wanted to make you feel comfortable that when you walk away, someone else will not just simply use your platform because you have logged in 2 seconds ago, right? So on the top left corner, we have this cross. So when you click on this, you can see all the cross pairs that we laid out here. So by selecting the ones that you focus the most, you can add all the different asset pairs on the exchange platform. So for me, because if let's say I look at more at Bitcoin against USD, as well as Ether against Bitcoin versus Ether against USD. So let's say if I only focus on these three assets, I've chosen these three. The second option on the left-hand side, you can choose how you like to organize your interface. by choosing different chart grids. For me, as you can see, I have chosen the 3 charts. It gives me a very simple, straightforward view because let's say if I focus predominantly Bitcoin against USD, it gives me a larger space versus the 2 in the bottom. Alternatively, you can also organize charts by 4 charts, whichever you prefer. So as you can see that it gives you the flexibility of visually how you would like your exchange to be presented. And on the very left-hand side, we have the 3 lines button. I personally call it a hamburger button. So once you click into this, it gives you different block settings. So right now, I've chosen to show order books, price charts, and order forms. If I click on order forms, you can see there is a dash crossover of the I button. You can see the order forms is gone. If I click on trade history, it will show my trade history. If I don't want to show it, I just double click on it. So it gives you, again, a more flexibility in terms of what you focus on. One point that I want to highlight that there are some people have asked that why am I only be able to display, let's say, 2 simultaneously versus I can display here. Here are 3. So well, it's entirely up to the space that you have on your monitor because I have chosen 3 charts. So it gives me more space on the top. So it allows me to choose more, display more blocks. So it is completely depends on the how much space you have on your monitors and how you organize the interface. And then another functionalities I would like to bring is the charting functions. So for example, after I've set out, I've decided to display these 3 blocks. Here's our charting the price movement, the most exciting part. You can choose setting up your time frame as 1 minute or 5 minutes, alternatively mid or bid or ask price. In the end, we also give you a very cool indicators, allow you to choose whether simple moving average, exponential moving average, or smooth moving average. So right now I've shown these 3 index, so you feel free to go out, explore the crossovers, signaling different sell and buy signals. And in the very end, that we move out to the how to make a order. Here we have opened the order form. It allows us to place an order at will. So for example, we have different order type. The difference between market order, limit order, and stop order is that a market order is the order that executed immediately. This type of order guarantees that the order will be executed at the nearest execution price. For example, if you execute a buy order, a market order generally executed at the nearest current bid price for a sales order, but nearest ask price for a buy order. Limit order is the second type. Limit order is a type of order where you can set, very straightforward, a specific price, if not better. So the order will only be executed at this specific price, if not better. But because for buy limit order, the order will only be executed at limit price or a lower one. While for a sales limit order, the order will be executed only at a limit price, if not higher one. At last, we have a stop order. A stop order, generally we refer it as a stop loss order. So it prevents you from losing too much per se. The difference between stop order and limit order is that a limit order can be seen by the market. A stop order cannot until it is triggered. So for example, if you want to buy Bitcoin right now, let's say worth of 11,300 something, but you only want to pay for 10,000 per Bitcoin, then your limit order can be seen by the markets and filled when some sellers are willing to meet that price. However, on a stop order is a 2-part order where you will only turn into an actual limit order once seen by the market, once the stop order has been met or exceeded. And in the end, let's say if I want to place order, I place the quantity as well as destination. Destination is just simply means that you're exiting trade on FSX, which is abbreviation of us. In the end, we also have time in force. So it's also pretty straightforward. It's good to the end of the day, meaning that your order will be there until be valid and ready to execute until the end of the business day. Number two, we have good till cancel. It means that if you place the order will always be there until it's fulfilled or until the moment that you cancel the order. So we might want to be careful with that because there were incidents where, for example, a trader just forgot about this order and forgot to cancel this order. So it might be worth to pay more attention. Number three, we have immediate or cancel. Immediate or cancel, it just means we execute it immediately, but might not be executed as a full order. The portion of that order have not been filled will be cancelled. Kill or fill. Kill or fill is one of the most aggressive order that we can see. It means that you either execute it now, completely, or and immediately, or not at all. And the last thing is that we have good to date. If you select good to date, you can see that it gives you an expiration time, which means that the order will be valid, be there until a certain date and certain time. Now we've cleared how to execute a trade. The last things I want to highlight is that after you execute the trade, you can see on the very right end, we have order tabs and event tabs. So once you execute the trade, you can see your trades be reflected here. The difference between order tabs and event tabs is that the orders will only show you all the open orders. If your order have been filled, you can see it in the events. So which means all the activities that happened to your trading activity will be reflected here versus only open orders will be shown in the orders tab. Perfect. So now it gives us the perfect about 10 minutes to ask questions, for you to ask additional questions or any difficulties or any good experience you've experienced so far using Fusang Exchange. Please feel free to voice up, and we can see there are some incoming questions. Okay. One of the very good questions I'm seeing now is what is post only? Okay, perfect. This is a great question because in the order form, you can see there is a ticker box of ticking post only. Essentially, it means the order can only be placed as a maker order. For example, passive limit order. If the market condition dictates that it must be a take order, that should be matched, it will automatically be cancelled. So in the way that if you tick the post only ticker box, it means that the order can only be placed as a maker order. We've got more questions. Right. My size. Now I've come back to the exchange platform. My size. Here you can see my size. It simply shows the quantities at a certain price. It simply shows the size that you have. We also have aggregation by price, quantities, and average quantities. Right, any other questions we can see? Of course, I see someone say, "Oh, it has been really helpful that I wanted recording copy of this training." Of course, I think going forward we'll also do it more regular basis to help you navigate how to use the Fusang Exchange platform. I've also see following up questions in terms of aggregation quantity. This is also a very good question. Let's say aggregation quantity basically aggregate your quantity at a specific price level. Right. We've seen other questions. Indicators. Awesome. So in terms of indicators, right now we allow, as we said, we allow 4 indicators. One is a smooth, simple moving average. Number 2, exponential moving average. And number 3 is smooth moving average. And last is a price index. For how to navigate the indicator, if we, let's say, it depends on the time duration of the moving average. If a short-term simple moving average crossed down the long-term, meaning that it's cutting the long-term indicator from above to below, there's a crossover, that usually signifies a sell signal in theory. But you also need to combine with other, for example, price depth charts that we have, as well as the other indicators. On vice versa, if a short-term indicator, let's say if I set 50 days simple moving average versus another 200 days moving average, if the 50 days cross above, from below above, the long-term 200 days simple moving average usually signifies buy signal. So that is another way of navigating the indicators on Fusang Exchange. Right, I'm just scrolling down more questions. Right, how long does it take to deposit trading funds to the exchange? It varies. It also depends on your personal bank of choice, but usually it should not take longer than a few business days. Sometimes if it's quicker, as I said, it varies, depends on the bank. It could happen within 1 business day, but in general, it varies, depends on the bank. The next question we have is support page, cryptocurrency. We've actually covered this in the very beginning of this demo. So if you want to deposit cryptocurrency, all you need to do, let's say, if I repeat again, is that if you have a third-party cryptocurrency wallet, all you need to do is to transfer the crypto from that specific wallet to your personal Fusang Vault wallet. And in Fusang Vault, next to each wallet on the right-hand side, we have a 3-dot button. So once you click on the 3-dot button, you can click on the button of transfer fund, transfer deposit. So allows you to transfer the cryptocurrency deposit into the Fusang Exchange. And from there, you are good to go. And now you're well equipped in terms of the knowledge of how to navigate Fusang Exchange. You'll be able to start from there. Okay, any other questions? Hello, Chuyin. Thank you for your question. Are all the security tokens listed afterwards can also be traded in this platform, right? Absolutely. So right now we have signed a few securities listings, and two of which are very excited and proud to say that are upcoming in the next few weeks. And after these tokens being listed on Fusang Exchange, so of course you'll be able, the users of the exchange platform will be able to freely trade it. It also subject to, let's say, accredited investors, they'll be able to freely use security Fusang Exchange to trade these security tokens. Okay, more questions coming. Yeah, so all the assets that we support, yeah, this is also a good question. If we come on the top left corner, it displays these are the crosshairs. As I've also mentioned earlier before, how you would like to add different assets, you can basically choose to here. You can also mark your favorite, which will be shown here as we gradually bring on more and more assets along in the roadmap, which is very exciting. You'll be able to actually filter, let's say, out of 50 assets in the future, you'll be able to see your favorite ones under this tab. Okay, more questions are coming. Can only accredited investors trade security tokens? It matters different. There are few aspects to in terms of answering these questions. In Fusang Exchange, essentially, we run two boards. Number one is a public market. Number two is a private market. So each market targeting at uh, different investors. For public market, we have access to all investors. So in the way that an issuer, if an issuer chose to list on Fusang Exchange on the public markets, so in the way that that issuer will have access to all type of investors. All right, more questions? What is the requirement of being accredited investor? Thanks again for your question. Accredited investors, we follow the Malaysia 3 million ringgit individual investors. It also depends on the joint accounts. If you and your wife or husband have a joint account exceeding 3 million ringgit or a certain amount, where we encourage you to go to the support page and actually search accredited investor. You'll be able to see the qualifying criteria of sophisticated investor here. Okay, we've got any other question? Perfect. Oh, the other questions that are coming is in terms of the time frame. Time frame is pretty simple. So if you want to change of the each bar's time frame, we just simply come to the left-hand side. There is the round button. We can click the time frame as 5 minutes. Personally, I prefer it 1 minute. Price sales. Okay, any other question? Right. We've got another one, which is when is the Fusang Exchange FSC token will be listed? Yes, indeed. We're actually in the process of our pre-IPO round through the issuance of FSC digital shares. Right now, FSC is not listed on the Fusang Exchange, but very soon we will. We are also welcoming different interests over FSC. If you're interested, welcome to the FSC investor page. Last question. How many cross pairs will be bring on the exchange platform? That is a very exciting questions. As we said, along the way, we'll bring in more and more cryptocurrencies as well. As I have also mentioned, that we have signed a few listings already, two of which are upcoming. So along the way, we're very excited to see all cross assets and hopefully fill the screen to bring in more investment opportunities. I think right now it's just perfect timing. We've just ended, but feel free to come to clients@fusang.co and email us any questions you have about the exchange or about Team Fusang or Fusang Group in general. We'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Have a good day.